Hello, everyone. Just getting myself set up here as always. Okay, Ave, good morning. Now I'm just trying. Need to make sure that I see everyone. Can never get this going here. Just gonna wait a couple minutes for everyone. I hope everyone was able to see the live yesterday. Was invited with Biddy Penny for world card making, which is awesome. Can never get this going. Give me 1 second. Okay, I think we are good. Now I can see the comments. Ave, again, good morning. I know you've been waiting for this. I sent you a couple um, emails, but I don't think you got them. Um, no, Ave, I would not let you miss this. Absolutely. Sean, good morning. We need to make sure that everybody checks your channel out also today at 11 a.m. Sean at Manly Made Minute is going to go live. Biddy! Hello, Biddy. I had so much fun yesterday. That was a fun time. It was just a fun day yesterday, was it not? It was just great seeing all of the different videos up and creations people did at Craft Roulette. Oh God, there wasn't too much I could do during that. I was laughing so hard. Absolutely so hard. Um, but it seemed like everyone had a good time and it was a lot of fun. Okay. Today is the day. We are launching our next set of stamps with Desiree Tangles. And I say we because I believe all of you are part of this. You give me encouragement, you give me ideas, wonderful feedback. Good morning, Cordelia. How are you doing? Um, it's just, it all comes from you guys. And I can't say thank you enough how much I appreciate you all. Whether you're watching the videos or we get together and craft, I just love this community and I get more and more into it, which is wonderful. Okay, so let's dive right in because I do want to make sure that everybody does get to Sean. He gave me a sneak peek on his. I'm very honored to have Sean part of the inspiration team, the creative team, along with Biddy. Um, but Sean is going to go live at 11, so we should be done in plenty of time for that. I'm going to go through, going to show you the stamps first, and then we'll show you all of the samples that I finally got done. Good morning, Jennifer. How are you? Um, and then stay tuned on Biddy's channel because her creations are, as always, as well, just as amazing. Okay, so let's get started. Now, we're not going to make anything today, but I'm going to hopefully give you a lot of inspiration. Okay, so as always, there are 4 in the collection. This is our fall slash winter for 2024. So first up, we'll show you just the stamps, and then we'll get into the inspirations for each. So first up, this one is called Tangled Botanical. So this is really the largest image out of all the 4 sets. One of the feedback that I had gotten from some is they would like to see individual pieces, not just one large image. So I heard that. But I do still like large images. I like what you can do with them, where you can, put them on, they still fit on an A2 card. They can go into those larger cards, a 5x7, 6x6, or 7x7. I do like real estate for my cards, but not everybody's like that. Some do like the original A2 size as well. Not afraid of color. Good morning, T. How are you doing? I am so glad you're here. So honored. Thank you. So here, I'm going to bring this up. You can see all of those tangles in there. So this is like a botanical garden for you. There's a whole bunch in there. We've got 3 sentiments with sympathy. This beautiful smile. I love the size of that. And then, of course, be happy. Gotta be happy with that. So that is our first stamp, a Tangled Botanical. The second set that I'm about to show is very special to me, and I hope it is special to somebody else who is in our chat. She had asked, and it is Ave. She had simply asked, since it's the fall and winter collection, could we have some leaves? Well, absolutely we can. So here I am introducing a Tangled Leaves. And it also, Ave, just so you know, your name is actually part of the name. This one was inspired by you, Ave, so I say thank you very much. Here we have 3 separate leaves. Yes, they can be fussy cut. There's a lot that we can do with them. We can add more tangles into this one if we want. And then we have this one here where we have our tangles in between. We have 3 sentiments: grateful, autumn greetings, and cozy hugs. And again, we can cut, I know we don't like to cut our stamps, but we can. We can cut this one in half, actually. Just use the hugs, take the cozy to autumn greetings, and just have fun with those. So, Ave, thank you. And I hope I did justice to your idea. I do, I do, I do. Our next one is called a tangled ornament or tangled ornaments. So again, we've got 3 separate ornaments within the collection. We have a tangled branch, 3 sentiments. We have joy, Noel, and Merry Christmas. And we have 2 different style hangers. We have a nice long one here, and then we have the traditional hook. These have a focus of each have a focus of 1 tangle. So again, all of these different images, and again, they can be fussy cut so we can layer them. You can see the size of the ornament compared to my hand. And our last one is Tangled Snowflakes. Still like the large image, but we also have 2 smaller snowflakes here where we can create our backgrounds What's great with an image like this, we can take a quarter of it, we can take a half of it, and just have fun with the settings. We have winter greetings, silent night, and flurry friends. So I thought that this one would be good for the holidays and also for our winter cards. But remember what I said, or what I like to say, is by simply changing your colors, these stamps can be used all year round. Okay? Hello, Amy. Welcome. Okay, caught up there. I don't want to miss the comments. Now, for the inspiration. So we're going to start off with botanical. Now, you guys know I get a lot of questions, or I have people ask me, why are you creating these type of stamps? I am a certified Zentangle teacher. And I love Zentangle inspired art. I love teaching Zentangle. It is a wonderful form of art that's very relaxing. But not everybody wants to either take that time, or maybe they have a challenge to do it, for hand mobility or anything like that. But they love the images. These images are now available. I believe art supplies should be available for everybody. So that's kind of what inspired me to create these stamps, along with Biddy kicking me in the butt. Just saying. Just saying. Biggest cheerleader. You ever want a cheerleader? Go to Biddy. Absolutely. So for our first one, this is on an A2 card. You can see how well it just fits in. It only cuts a little bit off, but it is the entire image that is on the card panel. I added the sentiment with sympathy, and this is colored using chalks. I love chalk pastels. I think they are a great way to add colors to any image that you have. They're forgiving, and you do not need to be exact. And that's the beautiful look, that you can get from them. And it's flat. It's just stamped. Our next one, I made note card sets. When it comes to this set, these cards are 5x5s, or 5.5. Yeah, they're 5.5 by 5.5. And by simply using different embossing powders, I love the distress glazes. So working with these, I'm like, oh yeah, I have these. Helps me to remember what we have. Did some ink smushing panels to match it. I don't have a sentiment on them because, again, they're note cards. What we write inside is the perfect sentiment for what we put on our card, and this would make a great set for anybody. So I have a blue, a, a green, a yellowish green, and also a red or a pink. But you can see you still get the beautiful detail from each of the panels. So it's a nice way to take an image that's like this, and if you don't want to color, do an ink smush background and then stamp it right on top. Next up, to keep the tradition of the Zentangle process and the step method, all I did was add a little bit of graphite, aka number 2 pencil, and just used it to create the shadows within the image. Very monochrome, very simple, but does give you a nice impact on the image. Sometimes we don't have to add all of the color in the world. Also, to keep with the idea of Zentangle art, I love to add more tangles. So I added some tangles to the sentiment itself. And you can. You can do that, and this is still the graphite as well. I just added a little bit more to make it a little bit deeper. So have fun with it. Here I made a slim line, again using an ink smushed background and using some of those glazes, just getting a touch of that image on the top and the bottom. Now my slim lines, again, love that real estate. This is a 4x9 slim line, and the panel here is 3.5 by 8.5. And again, that just nestles really nice inside of that. But a very quick and elegant card for sure. You could tell I was having a day creating ink smush backgrounds, but this to me looks like it's under the sea. So again, just use that. I took the Be Happy sentiment and just stamped it straight across. And then again, still using those glazes. This is a 7x7. And just adding that, it looks like creatures under the sea, right? I love ink smushing. It's very therapeutic. It's right up there with tearing paper. And then doing the same thing, but pulling in the graphite, you can see that you almost can turn this into a silhouette. And then this one, again, just has that ink smushed background. I did not want them to go to waste. The last card for the botanicals was inspired by one of Biddy Penny's cards that she showed me. We can take this stamp and turn it into a silhouette. And that's simply by stamping it and using a very dark watercolor, or you could use a black marker and just color it in to make it look like a silhouette. This is all blues that are going on here, and I thought the moon in the background just created either a winter scene, or this could fall into Halloween, depending upon how you do that. I found a really cool embossing powder that I had, which is blue, and if I tilt it, you might see it just a little bit. So sticking with the blues, and then all of this in here is a dark watercolor that I mixed up, and I added more black to the bottom. This is a 5x7 card too. So that's the inspiration for the botanicals. Let's real quick, let's see if we have any questions here. Good morning, Betty. How are you doing? Welcome. I see Extreme Cook. Hello, welcome. Let's see. All right, next up, let's look at our leaves, tangled leaves. I love making tags, and you can certainly do that with these stamps. So I have some watercolor or ink smush in the back. Now, actually, this is watercolored. And what I did was, after I mixed it, I just took the brush back and forth to the tag that was already cut. I stamped the images with some ink, sticky ink, and used a copper embossing powder, and then just filled it in with watercolors. Let the watercolors do the work. Just drop it in. And when you emboss, it keeps it all contained. I took the Cozy Hugs and used a sparkly embossing powder on that. And then, of course, I have my explosions up on top. Here is our other leaf. And just adding different colors. And then our final one. And you can see all of the details come up really nice with these stamps. So make some tags, have some fun, and then I just back them onto some craft. Another note card set. Again, playing around with the watercolors. I won't call this a blizzard, but we do have lots of splatters. So I stamped them with VersaFine black ink, have the autumn greetings, added some gems, and then just splattered away around it. These are 4x4.25 by 4.25 little tiny note cards. So we have that one, and then we have a green, and just adding those gems for a little bit of sparkle, and then our purple, just to really pull out the colors of the fall. and have fun with the different sizes of your cards. Here is a standard A2 size. I was having some fun. I added some splatters to this, and then I used one of those embossing pens and just drew in on some of the areas when it came to the design, and then just used some gold embossing powder on top of it. It looks like when I stamped the sentiment afterwards, so the sentiment looks like it's actually behind, because it won't sit on top of that. But again, a very simple way to add detail to your stamped image. And then I actually used one of my ink smush backgrounds that I had in my stash to frame it. We can create a background with the leaves. So I took another ink smushed background, stamped them, heat emboss in gold, and here I used my watercolor pencils and used a blending pen to blend those colors out to get all of these different colors in there. And then just added the sentiment over that. So we can create backgrounds, again, standard A2 size card. Here's another standard A2 size, and I fussy cut them. I took regular cardstock, stamped them, embossed them in platinum, and then added inks around the edges to make them a little bit darker, just to add a little bit more depth. And then I splattered them with some water. But you can see fussy cutting, you can definitely do that. Just layered them up here, and then I added the cozy hugs. For our next one, did a 5x7 card, a lightly ink smushed, created a background with some cardstocks in behind it. I popped this up using some foam and just stamped the image and heat embossed them. Don't have to do anything else to them, just have it to the back and then have the sentiment in front. So you can either color them or you don't need to color them. Did a slim line. This is using chalks to color them. Again, this is a 4x9. This panel here that I worked on is 3.5 by 8.5. Stamped them in my VersaFine and just added chalks to get those beautiful vibrant colors and added some gems. Of course, to add the tradition of the Zentangle method, I stamped them and also added the graphite to keep it monochrome, to make it very simple, and add the sparkle or shine when it comes to your mats. This is a 7x7 card. Here's another look on a 7x7. So this here is a 5x7 panel. That's where I was originally going. Changed my mind, put it onto a 7x7 card base, and added a panel here, just doing some Zentangle and adding a border to that. But then only just adding the graphite to the pencils. That are our leaves inspiration. Let me real quick check comments here. Making sure. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are enjoying these. Oh, thank you, Ave. You just ordered. Thank you, Jennifer. I'm glad you're enjoying the color combos. Okay, next up are the ornaments. Again, let's have some fun with tags. Have fun with the sizes. And all I did was take some watercolor after the tag was cut to its shape, just splattered back and forth. So I got all of these different blooms and shades. Stamped the images down and heat emboss in platinum. I added the Merry Christmas to vellum across. And then what I did, I took some white acrylic paint watered it down, and then just painted the inside of the ornament just to make it pop out just a little bit more to lighten it up from the background. And then, of course, added my explosions and backed them on some white cardstock. So have fun with the different sizes, um, your different shapes. We don't have to limit ourselves just to one size, even though these images can still be considered somewhat larger than normal, and that's okay. I wanted to give the ornaments just a vintage feel. Y'all knew I was going to do that, right? I'm just saying. So here we have an ink smushed background with speckled egg, and then stamped the images and embossed in brown. And this color here that I used, it is a chalk. It's by Faber-Castell. And I'm sure we remember the color because Vicky P always used it in her journals. I think it was like called Mortem something. But that's that color, and it's beautiful because it's this brown that's got this little purple tint to it. And it just really accented the ornaments to give them that vintage feel. These note cards here are 4x4, and we can certainly have fun with our sentiments. Nothing needs to sit dead on. And then just added some white pearls. Again, note cards would make a great gift as a set. Here we have a standard A2 size card. I've got the branch coming in, and then just one single ornament that's coming down, again with the sentiment here on the side. This is colored using those chalks. So you can get that same look that you do with the graphite. If you're not a monochrome color type person, you can certainly get this look from either chalks or colored pencils. You can get the same effects. Here we have a 6x6 card, and I created a border with all of the ornaments. And then I added in the background using a gold jelly roll pen, some print tops. That is what that tangle's called. And then kept these very plain and just added the graphite. But you can see how those can fit on a 6x6 panel. Here, another slimline. We just had fun with some watercolors, both just plain general watercolors and some metallic watercolors. I took this panel, 3.5 by 8.5. I inked around it, stamped my images. I have the tangled branch here, and I added, and you can see if I tilt that, I added to some watercolor flicks from that in both gold and green, just to add to it to make it look like a pine branch. To the ornaments, that's where the metallics are coming in. And then here I added some watercolors to the tangles themselves. And of course we just have a light snowflake of gold coming off that. And then just tucked the sentiment right in there. Sticking with the slimline, you can see just how well these three fit onto the 3.5 by 8.5 panel. I used this is actually some colored pencils going on in here, just using a very light hand. Added my sentiment a couple times and just made it look like they were sitting on a shelf. Here is a 5x7. Again, keeping the main tradition of the graphite of the Zentangle method, and then just have the three coming down. You don't necessarily have to use the branch, but you can see how the three will take up the space on a 5x7 card. I hope you all tuned in yesterday when I had the pleasure with Benny. This is the card that I had made there. So I kind of combined the two aspects. Again, started with a 5x7, wanted to move it to a 7x7 card base. Here, for the colors, that's watercolor. Just letting the watercolors do the work. Wetting this down, adding the watercolors to this area here, letting them bleed out, and then coming in with graphite into these areas. I'm really enjoying that contrast that goes on. Propped this panel up and then just put two strips to frame that. And then just to add to some tangles here, I actually used some colored markers. And yes, these are actual tangles. So just added a little bit of some holly leaves coming off of each of it. This is a 7x7 card, but just to give that pop of color, and then along with the graphite. And just added it a different way. Didn't take it up to the edge, created that border going around the images within the ornament itself. Again, 7x7. That is the tangled ornaments. Let's see here. Making sure there's no questions. Oh, thank you, T. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Good morning, Rhonda. Welcome. Okay. Last one. This is the Tangled Snowflakes. Now, one of the things that I didn't do this time was as I was making all of these samples, I didn't film any of them. So if you're seeing something like, okay, how did she do that? Let me know. I have no idea how we would be able to identify that, but describe what you saw. And we will do those videos because I haven't decided yet which ones I'm going to do. Okay. Again, let's make some tags. And here, same thing. Watercolor tags were already cut. Took a brush, just went back and forth. Let the watercolors do the work. And here, you can see how we got these stamped. And just had fun with it. All the different looks that you get. I used a mixture of silver and platinum and gold embossing powders. Just let them meld together, and the tags are different sizes. And then, of course, we've got all of our explosions that come off of it because that is just what we do with it. Added, of course, a little bit of a blizzard onto these tags. Now, what's also great with something like this, and even the leaves, get a large panel. Just cover it in your watercolor paints, then just chop it up after you've stamped them and embossed them, and just have fun with it because each one will be different and unique. Again, with note cards. Yeah, I was just having fun with note cards. So here again, we've got our 3 different sizes. And here, these again are 5x5s. Again, it might be a large snowflake, but you can take it off to the side. This panel here that it's stamped on is actually a 4x4 panel. And you can see how much we have of that. Now, the sentiment is very, very subtle. It's just a note. This is actually available on the one of the very first stamps that were created in my first collection. So I just pulled that one back in, took this one up into the corner, and then just used the other 2 to fill that one in. Again, ink smush backgrounds. I was having fun ink smushing one day. I'm just saying. Here is a standard A2 size card using the smaller snowflakes to create that background. This is all done with watercolors. Added watercolors in some of the areas, letting it do its work. This is not embossed, just stamped in VersaFine black, and then just splattered those colors around and added some gems to accent the snowflake shape and added the sentiment winter greetings. As we get larger, this is a 5 by 7. Here's the traditional look, adding silver emboss, using all of the stamps to create that background, and then added Flurry Friends on vellum. Here's the one single large image. This is using pastel chalks to add color. Loaded her up with gems, just had fun with all of those. And this is a 5 by 7 card. Add the sentiment to the bottom of Silent Night. Had to take a sip of my tea. And just had fun with it. And again, this is a 5 by 7, so you can see how much real estate that will take. As always, the tradition with Zentangle, just using the graphite. This is a 6 by 6 card, still taking it up off of the corner and adding the sentiment, winter greetings. Here we have a 7 by 7 and I cut it in half. So I had taken two panels. I had taken a strip from an ink smushed and a piece of cardstock, and I put them together. So this was cut, let's see. So this is a 6 by 6 panel. So 3 by 6, 3 by 6. I pushed them together. I taped the back side to hold them together. And then I stamped the large image across the cut line. Added the two up here, used gold embossing powder, and then came across with a strip of the gold metallic and placed the sentiment of Silent Night on top. So had fun with that kind of different image there. Here's another 7 by 7, just focused. Put the smaller stars or snowflakes in the back to create that background, and I did an emboss resist. So I stamped these first, heat embossed them with white, then did the ink blending. This is not an ink smushed background. Did the ink blending so that I could wipe away the ink, and then did that also in different ink blend colors for the main star. And if you add a brad to the center, you now have a spinner. And it'll just keep turning. So you can add an interactive function to your card. You can also do that with the smaller ones if you fussy cut, and then you just have something that somebody can just fidget with. Here's a full 7 by 7 panel. This again is using chalk pastels, adding some pearls to emphasize them, but you can see you can create so many different backgrounds. If I put this down and if I cover from here to here, that's what an A2 size would approximately look like. And again, the difference that you can get with those images. I do just love real estate. Gotta have some real estate. Let's see here, making sure I'm not missing any comments, questions. Okay. Now, for those of you, again, that were with me and Biddy yesterday, I had made these two cards along with the ornaments. Same principle, same process. These are both ink blended backgrounds with a snowstorm. Yes, There was a snowstorm that came in on the channel, but it was the same process. All I did was change the colors. So this here has the more winter traditional color. Could also fall into Halloween a little bit because of that purple and black that I pulled in. But you can see all of the snowflakes going around and this huge moon that just adds that brightness to it. Added some pearls to the center. And again, this is a 7x7 card, but this technique can be done on any size card that you like. Had a little bit of vintage in me yesterday. So that's what we did here. Instead of using all of the silver and the deep colors, I went into the speckled egg, the vintage photo. We knew the vintage photo was going to come in. And the snowflakes are all stamped with using platinum embossing powder. But you can see the difference that you're getting. And even to the center of the snowflakes, I added just a little bit of lace. You could add fabric. You could add little pieces of cardstock, whatever you would want. But you get two completely different looks, but you're using the same stamp. I believe it doesn't matter what the stamp is, you can make it for any occasion. Just change your sentiment and your colors. And it's that simple. That simple. Okay, those were the last two samples that I had for our new collection here. So, what did everyone think? Okay, so Ave, you want to see the branches coming out of the ornaments. Okay, so you liked the tangles being added. Oh, Rhonda, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. And Biddy, you like the adding of more tangles to the video, to the images as well. And I'll put those up on Sunday so that you can see that happening. T, are you talking about those feathers coming out of the, she asks, reminds me of feathers when I am quilting. Oh, thank you, Sean. Thank you, thank you. So, these are live. They are available for purchase. Again, for US, you have a flat rate of $8 to ship out. And for those of you that are outside the United States, I just apologize. I will ship internationally, absolutely. I do use USPS First Class International. I just apologize for the cost. There's, again, small business, not large. I do apologize for that. I am possibly looking into how these can get overseas. So stay tuned for that. But if you are interested in them, by all means, they are available. If I see there's any errors in your invoice, I do provide a refund. Sometimes, getting this shipping program to work in there, it's all kinds of fun. Remember, I love technology, and technology loves me. So if I see something is off, I will do that refund for you. Absolutely. So don't think I would not do that. Sylvia, how are you doing? Welcome. So just know that I just feel very bad when it comes to overseas. It's like, woo. But Again, that is out of my control. As always, there is a bundle that's available. If you're looking, just saves a little bit of money for you. And don't forget, the other collections are available as well still. They're not, none of the stamps are being retired at this time. And as I see one gets low, it will be restocked. But just remember, we have a Tangled Moment that's still available. We have the Tangled Heart. We have a Tangled Flourish. We have the Tangled Star. This is Biddy's favorite. This was Biddy inspired. A Tangled Wave, or a Wave of Tangles, I believe that one is called. This one is a Tangled Bloom. Now, this one is running low, but if you're interested in this one, just know it will be coming back. This one is the Tangled Mandala, and this one here is a Tangled Christmas. So these are still available. You know, I'm looking at this table and I am amazed. I have 12 stamp sets now. So yeah, it's amazing. But they are still available if anyone is interested in those purchases as well. I'm hoping everything is a future tattoo, Biddy says. Oh my goodness. Oh, Ava, you did. Oh, good. You got the Tangled Heart. That was my favorite. That was just my favorite. But that not too many people, you know, you do this, you know, as you design, you know, you as, and I know Biddy will relate to this. As you design these things, you know, it's us. It's we put ourselves into them. And it's really funny because like, yeah, I love that one. And no, it's not everyone's favorite. But you know what? That's okay. It's all right. But I did listen to you all. We've got separate elements here where we can make our backgrounds. We can do our fussy cuts. We can mask and go over each of the items. But I still do have that large piece as well. And then there will be more styles of these coming out in frames and so forth. So does anybody have any questions? Because I do want to make sure that we are all free to go jump on to Sean's channel. Wait till you see some of the ones he created. Oh my God, they are absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, thank you so much, all of you. This is not possible for us creators. Our YouTube channels, our creations that we create for you all to have and enjoy and create your art with. None of this is possible without you guys. And I truly mean that from the heart. So I say thank you. I love what I do. I love the tutorials that I can provide because that gets you into your crafty space, whether that's to do what you love or to try something new. That's what this is about. It's to make sure that it is available for you. It's what I love to do. So to all of you, I say thank you. Absolutely thank you from the bottom of my heart. This community, I know Biddy says it, and we all say it, it truly is wonderful. It is wonderful to see when people are crafting with us and they tag us in their creations. They ask questions. To me, that's what brings a smile on my face. And with everything going on, let's all smile just a little bit. Again, I love you all very much, and I appreciate you all extremely, very much. For the people that are part of my inspiration for these stamps. I can't say thank you enough. Thank you for being part of my journey, and thank you for making my journey continue to move. Absolutely. I wish you all the best. I want you all to stay healthy and safe. And from the bottom of my heart again, thank you. They are up on the website. Stay tuned for videos. I'm going to pull out some other things going through. When I end this live, I lose my comments. Okay? So if there is something, a style of card that I showed, and you want to see it, please let me know. Um, and I will do that video. Otherwise, I'm just going to pull some and recreate those videos for you. I hope everyone jumps over to Sean's channel, and that is a Manly Made Minute. All one word. He is going live at 11. Take care, everyone. Again, thank you. Enjoy your day. Have a great one, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care.